Sup Shredders, my name is Logan aka Spiderhands and welcome to an SP Reacts where today we're going to be checking out a track from an act named Jasper Owens titled Ride On. And if we switch over to here, we have ourselves the song off of the last Rebel album, so that's cool. So there's 10 tracks on this if you want to check out the rest after this video. We're going to listen through this song from start till finish and we're going to hear what we think. Let's go. The strings sound gorgeous. Great arpeggios on those guitar parts.
True, you ride the finest horse I've ever seen, standing 16, 1 or 2, with eyes wild and green. You ride the horse so well, hands light to the touch, and I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to.
Cello?
Ride on, see you. I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to. Ride on, see you. I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to.
There's an interesting sort of flow to that line, but I like it.
Into the night without a trace behind. Run your claw along my gut one last time.
What I would say here is I feel like while the double tracking is quite effective in giving the vocals a lot of kind of like body in the mix, I think that we could have potentially have limited the double tracking to the chorus parts to make them a bit more sort of like, to kind of add a bit more sort of like separation between the chorus and verse elements, if that makes sense in regards to intensities.
I turned to see an empty space where you used to lie.
To be fair, they are harmonies.
To light the dark through a teardrop in my eye. Ride on, see you.
Because we can sing well.
I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to. Ride on, see you. I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to. Ride on,
And reiteration of the hook line.
see you. I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to. Ride on, see you. I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to.
Good, we are having some guitar parts take over at this point. Nice use of the space for the slides here and the bends.
The finest horse I've ever seen, standing 16, 1 or 2, with eyes wild and green. You ride the horse so well, hands light to the touch, and I could never go with you no matter how I wanted to.
And that's the track. Ride On from Jasper Owens. Let's talk about that track more, though, in the conclusion. Because welcome to the conclusion of my review of this track from an acts named Jasper Owens, titled Ride On, off of the Last Rebel album. Now, what do I think this track is about? I think it's talking about someone, like, not totally, but and partially about them riding a horse and wanting to follow them through the night. In the context of the album and the atmosphere we're describing, wanting to follow them even though we can't, and it's just that frustration and sadness that we feel about that. I also am wondering if it's just a general sort of comment on maybe our inability to be able to sort of like do things the same way as other people, and maybe in life in general, outside of the cowboy context. Because we're remarking on how adeptly they do these different things with the riding, the saddling, and the handling, and everything like that. So we're aware of what they're doing properly, and it's almost like we're kind of frustrated that we can't do it. But it's such a somber take on it at the same time. So I think in terms of things I appreciate about this track, the first thing is the way that we tried to do the vocal harmonies. Like from a folky kind of indie standpoint, I like the actual note choices and how they coalesced with each other. Rhythmically, there were some parts where the different vocal takes were a bit out of time with each other, so it was a little bit like that was a little bit distracting, but overall, for the most part, when they were together, they were really tight, and they were a wonderful bit of extra coloration within this mix filled with strings, bass, guitars, and all that kind of good stuff. And I feel like when we actually sung those bits, we showed solid vocal technique. So it's just a matter of simply, I think, for future parts, maybe having occasional overdubs of the harmonies. And then if we are going to have harmonies, maybe keep them consistent throughout the chorus there for an extra body there if we're going to double track or harmonize on those. I think it's also the actual culmination of instruments within the mix that I appreciate. I think the guitar tones sounded gorgeous, like the arpeggios, the movements between the different triads were beautiful. They had a greater kind of glow and sheen to them, very satisfying and easy to listen to. They made sense of the style of music and genre they were going to. They brought out the best of the steel string guitars and allowed that bass and the strings in the low end and everything like that to excel as well. It was a fairly palatable theme there, even if it wasn't like it. You could understand how the theme, the chord progressions, the bass lines, the musical decisions, etc., made sense with how they connected to the story. Overall, very satisfied with the actual technical performance as well. It was very, very tight. And so I think also it's just the fact that structurally, at that point where I felt like we could have maybe bowed out or had like a fade out, we did an additional bit of like slide guitar on top, which really solidified and reinforced the idea of this sort of being like a kind of a sad country cowboy kind of situation here. And I dig that. I think that, texturally there was room in the mix after, the vocals bowed out, because we had cooler responses between some of the vocal and guitar parts. But I'm just glad that we understood that we couldn't have necessarily had like another time of that hook line. We allowed the slides to carry us out for a bit, and just it was satisfying. It was a good track. I just appreciate the diversity in regards to the actual performances from the various instruments, especially in other parts where like the cello comes in the low end, and it's just a fantastic sort of sub kind of buzz to it, a warmth to it that comes from that. It's really full bodied. In terms of like constructive critique or anything like that, it's mostly just the thing I spoke about with the double tracking or the vocal harmonies and the rhythmic phrasing needing to be in unison with each other. I think aside from that, everything else is really good. This is a fantastic first impression to Jasper Owens' work. And thank you for watching my review of this track from an ex named Jasper Owens titled Ride On. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, please go show us some love via the various social medias and YouTube page. Stay cool and stay safe, and please remember to support your local musicians and artists at this point in time, as need the help more than ever with all the crazy stuff going on in the world. And I will catch you in the next Jasper Reacts. Spiderhands out.